Metaflower has one of the most interesting, unique approaches to producing his sculptural objects. He takes dynamite and sets off very controlled explosions underground that create these crevices into which he pours polyurethane in order to sort of freeze, capture the exploded space from the dynamite. And then he exhibits these as sculptures. And I think it's really interesting in terms of the way time plays in his work. You think of an explosion as something instantaneous, but then his sculptures have this sort of almost geologic quality. They look like rocks, things that might be around forever and have this permanence. And I think that also connects with his background as and his interest in music and rap, and how that also has a narrative. It also has a time link, but it's also something that's really impactful, and it's supposed to, it's not always, some of it's very underground, literally underground rap. This work is, I think, really connected to this history of land art, which is really important in the United States in the 1960s and 70s. A lot of American artists like Robert Smithson were going out into the landscape and thinking about how they could use that material, the soil, the rock out in nature as the materials for their sculpture. And I think Metaflower is sort of doing an update on that by thinking about how he can impact that environment to produce these sculptures. So each one of these, his forms, is totally unique and dependent on the sort of experimentation and chance of using dynamite, something that, although he can set up the materials and put them out in the environment, he can't control the shape of that explosion. And so you could say that nature is as much the sculptor of these works as Metaflower, which of course I think is really interesting as we think of our humans' impact on the environment.